Howdy ho, neighbors. This is Jason, zombie collector, and shocking. I hope you're sitting down because I am doing a response video. Uh, I don't even know if it's really a contest, so to speak. I guess it is. But it was just for me. I haven't done a contest response video in a coon's age, and kind of got away from it. And this might be one of those once in a while type things because the topic is amazing. I know a lot of people are already doing it. That's how I got turned on to it. I'm actually subscribed to Steve's channel, Purplegt22, and I watched the video, and his question is that how has YouTube impacted your life? And it's really cool. I hear a lot of people talk about it. I mean, it's one of those things where like I said, I'm not really motivated much anymore to do contests for even my buddies. Like, I just don't care about it. Like, it's just the same song and dance pony show that everybody does, and it's not any jab at anybody, but it's just like it's whatever. Like, it's if you're subscribed to my channel, more than likely, 99.9%. There's like nobody going to come to my channel that's not going to somebody else's channel and checking them out. So what am I doing except just hearing myself talk, which I love to do, but it's not really making sense for me to do that because it's usually like show this card or show that card, but Steve here has a doozy, a humdinger. So how does YouTube impact your life? I should preface this by saying I'm a little bit under the weather today, so please forgive me if my voice is a little raspy, Bohemian Rhapsody. So how has it impacted my life? So I started YouTube in 2017, around November, I believe, and honestly, I didn't know anything about the YouTube baseball card collecting world. I had watched Ed Wesker Griff, Myco, and TTM Autograph Troy Rudder. Those are the three guys that got me into it, and now I can say all three of those guys are my friends. Aside from Ed, I talk to Troy and Mike on a semi-regular basis, not like every day, but maybe once every couple of weeks we'll chat, and we definitely text. And we'll correspond via our messages on YouTube and Facebook and things of that sort. But I mean, those guys that got me into it, it was so much fun. And initially, a lot of those guys started out as TTMers, and Troy still does it. But it seemed like they were doing a lot of TTM early on, and kind of Ed always mixed in a lot of stuff, and I guess Mike has too. But they've kind of moved away from TTMing as one of the primaries, and it's more of a secondary. And so I just started, I think it might have been Troy or it might have been Ed. I guess it could have been Mike. It could have been all three. But they just were like, hey, you should do not me personally, but on their channel, they would be like, you should do a channel. If you want to go out there and show what you have, get in front of the camera and talk. It's kind of like before Eric, those back pages, was saying it, they were saying it. And, they're always talking about how great the community is and support one another. And so I just kind of felt inspired to do that. Most of you all know on my channel, I'm a single father, and my son, though he's not in the hobby really, he has a passing interest, but I have a lot of downtime when he's at his mother's house. And so I was trying to find a hobby, and I went back to the hobby that I grew up with, which is card collecting, baseball cards in particular. And growing up, I had my brother and my dad and, friends in the neighborhood, as we all probably did, that were like big time into collecting. So you kind of had that experience. But life happens, and you grow up, and you get married, and you go to college, and you have a job, and you have a lot of bills and all that. Not that I don't have bills now, but just, you have a lot. Ball cards usually, and for at least for me, was not in the forefront of my mind. And then when I realized I had more of this downtime, and I was trying to think of what was a good outlet that I could get back and enjoy something that would be fun, cards kind of came up, and that's when I started watching their channels and being inspired to do that myself. And if you go back to watch my first videos, not a whole lot has changed. Maybe my setup's a little bit different, a little bit better. I don't know. But my conversation, the topics, and my perspective and my personality pretty much has always been the same. That's probably why I have so few followers or subscribers, because I really don't care. Like, that's not to me what it's about. And to answer the question, I've kind of meandered a bit here, but how it changed my life is unbelievable. I've met so many great people, and stayed in time with their families. Bob Lewis in particular. Jeremiah. I got to meet JT, Purplegt24, just this past 2 weekends ago. Jeremiah had me over at his house. He kind of just took care of me, JY Sports Car guy. Bob had me up in Pittsburgh. I had Raphael at my house and Jim, who's kind of taking a step back. He's been super busy with his job. But I had him at my house for a weekend, like 4 or 5 days. I had Bob over, I had his family over. So, it's great. I've hung out with Mark and his precious daughter, Taylor. I met his wife once. And, I met a handful of guys. I met John, JMVP, and his kid, his little boy. It's been cool to meet the families of, a lot of these people and see them as husbands and fathers and not just collectors. Because there's so much more to us than that. And a lot of time our channel, we focus on that, which is, of course, great. But to me, it's been able to, put it all together to make it more of an experience to how it really impacts my life. Because it's more than just like, oh, that's a cool Don Sutton autograph card you got there. It's more than that. It's I'm invested in their lives. Like, I want them to do well. If something's going on with Bob, I feel like Bob and I can talk about it. Same with pretty much all those guys I mentioned. And, if something pretty hilarious happens in the community, I'm looking forward to bringing it up and talking with people because we're all kind of in the know in a lot of those ways. And I think that's great. As a lot of people have said, and I'm sure I'm not saying anything new, where I live right now, I don't have a lot of collecting buddies, if at all. So for me, this is the only outlet I have to have it impact my life in a positive way. I collect movies as well, Blu-rays and DVDs, and I'm a big film fan, which most of you all probably know. And I don't have that part of me on the channel too much. From here to here, you'll see videos, and I'll reference it, and more of my live streams, you'll see that more. But I don't have too many videos where I do that. But I'm able to discuss anything with these guys. And that's the thing I was saying. That's to me how it impacted me is that, I was watching JT. He just did his video, which inspired me. Not that I watched Eric's video as well already, those back pages. Sorry, I was a little bit parched. And I don't know if I maybe seen a couple other people. I can't remember everybody. But those two guys in particular kind of inspired me to do this. Aside from Steve, obviously, he's the one put the question out there. But, I'm not trying to get anything from this. I just thought it was such a great topic. I think, guys, a lot of us, if we're being honest with ourselves, is that, probably quite a few of us don't have an outlet if we're married and have a family where you kind of do your own thing. That's you and not anybody else. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm speaking just to myself, and that's fine. But, my identity a lot of times is wrapped up in my son, which is awesome. And I wouldn't change that for the world because I do everything that I can to have him have the kind of, upbringing and life that I think that he deserves and wants. And, that's what I think all parents desire for their children, is that they have a better life than that they had as children themselves, and try to provide that as much as one can. But on the quiet times, on the down times, you try to look for things to do for yourself. And this has been a great refuge for me. It's been an oasis but not the song Wonderwall, not that Oasis. That has been nice, where I can come in my kitchen here and turn on my laptop that JT provided to me and do a live video and just shoot the breeze and just hang out. I can do videos and talk about what's going on, my car collecting or just, whatever. And, just like that topic that I started with the Jason Handy videos, just being silly, where sometimes I talk about trigger-worthy topics. Sometimes they're like frivolous, silly stuff. Sometimes it just, posing a question. It doesn't really have to be funny or trigger-worthy type topics. And see, like that is like such a important part of my channel now, which I never would have thought when I started doing it like 2-3 months ago, whenever. But it's kind of cool to see that grow because, a lot of people, and it's not, the cool thing is you might have some topics that not no one, but, a handful of people just don't have anything to say or they don't want to comment or they don't agree with me or whatever. They don't want to say anything. But then you have others who definitely want to get involved. You have some people who comment on every single one. Then you have others that might just be a specific topic that really catches their fancy. And that's what I've always said is having that rapport, building that relationship with people, getting to know people. Reese, I just posted the one about what's your guilty pleasure, music and movies. And Dave, Blue Jacket 66, said that he was a big Donny Osmond fan. And I would have never in a million years would have guessed that. And him and I had like a nice back and forth for 4 or 5 messages. And obviously he's a very serious collector. He's a very, not as a collector, but you can tell like he takes, himself and what he does very serious, which is good. And he takes his collecting serious, which is awesome. But he also has a sense of humor that I appreciate. And sometimes the things that he says on my channels or little things he might even say on his channels that maybe some people don't catch, I really appreciate. And those are the kind of things I enjoy. Mark Stove Sports and Bob Lewis, both of them, great senses of humor. And I'm glad I've met both of them through this. Being able to call them up and talk to them on the phone or just chit chat, those are great things. There's so many people I can mention. I don't want to get into a whole long thing, but I mean, it's been amazing. And it's enriched my life in so many ways that I can never truly be able to, what's the word? Get out the information to get out. I can never truly put out there. I don't know the word I'm looking for. I'm sure you all who are smarter than me can figure what I'm trying to say out, but I'm able to just really get that out there because it's so amazing. And, every time I kind of get fed up with the community or a person in particular or just a topic or whatever, I always come back, and because I love it so much. And because I really feel like there are a lot of these people on here, it's not like I feel like it, I know they're friends. And I think that's awesome. And so I've been very blessed by so many people in this community, which I haven't even discussed. We're at the almost 14-minute mark. But the generosity in this community. When I started these videos, I didn't even know about care packages back in 2017. I'm sure it was a thing. I might not have just known those channels existed yet, or I had just not seen any. Or maybe I didn't really understand the concept of a care package. I remember when Tony psyched on baseball cards and Steve Carter's kids, they were back to back first ones to say, hey, can I have your address? I wanted to send you something. And I'm like, I'm not giving you my address. You're some weirdos. How dare you ask me for my address? I barely know you. I'm not giving you my address. And then I started kind of looking around and research a little bit. And I'm like, hold on, wait. They're really going to send me something for free? That's a thing. And I was like, okay. And I'm just like, please don't let one of these guys be an axe murderer because I really don't want to use my AK because today I want to be a good day. And I got those first couple of care packages from those guys. And I remember, Steve sent me a bunch of Mattingly and Larkins. And Tony sent me a graded relic card of Joey Votto, some vintage Reds. And I mean, I couldn't believe it. And ever since then, the care packages just keep rolling in. I try to send out a handful of care packages every week, every month, just to pay it forward with people. And but I mean, like I said, this part of that community, I mean, the generosity. I mean, I just received. If you go back like 2 or 3 videos ago, Bowman 53 Alex, who I get another brother of mine. I talk to him probably once a week, if not more, sometimes. But definitely once a week usually. I mean, he sent me unsolicited an autographed Perez Steel PB Reese PSA DNA certified JSA certified slabbed Perez Steel postcard. And if it wasn't for Luca being in the same room with me, you might have got me a little teary eyed. And even though I probably was like get a little moist in the eye area, it was just I posted on my Facebook page and just talked about how great this car was. And I mean, I didn't even, I guess Alex will know now if he watches this video, but I didn't tell Alex I did that. But I had a lot of people on my Facebook page like really like, wow, that's awesome. And, a lot of great comments. And I didn't do it for that reason. I just wanted to share my appreciation for such a great card. And I mean, like I said, that kind of stuff happens on all the time. That's just what happened recently. But I don't know, guys. I know I've been dribbling on for a while. There's my dribble. I don't know if this is what Steve's looking for, but I mean, like I said, it was a great topic. I don't know if I did it justice, but hopefully you all can at least wade through some of the ridiculousness I was talking about and hopefully find some true hidden gems, so to speak. And I appreciate everybody and their continued support of my channel. And for me, remember, I'm not about the subs. I'm about the comments. I'm about the connection, about the rapport, about the building up of the community. That's what I care about. But anyways, guys, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. You all have been amazing. All you all out there in the YouTube world, thank you. And I hopefully you will continue. Well, hopefully as a community, we'll continue to grow and support one another. And until next time, peace.